Hello everyone, I am Terence Phillip from Nowaloka College of High Studies. I'm in Maryland, Salisbury University. Dr. Brand Stingler is with me. He's an assistant provost, director for international education. So, Dr. Brand, could you tell us more about the Salisbury University and the Maryland State?
Sure. So first, Terence, welcome to Salisbury University. We're so happy to have you here from Sri Lanka. Salisbury University is a public university. We're part of the state system of Maryland. Maryland is a small state. Salisbury University is located about 3 hours east of the capital, Washington, D.C. We're about 4.5 hours south of New York City and maybe 2.5 hours south of Philadelphia. So when students come to Salisbury University, our city is a small town in a rural part of the state. It's very quiet, it's very green, it's very peaceful, but you're within a weekend of, you can spend the weekend in any of the great cities of the East Coast of the United States and the original British colonies here. We have about 6,500 students, almost 7,000 students, mostly undergraduates. We have strong programs in business, in social work, in teacher education, in communications. These are some of the areas that we're most famous.
So, what would be the experience for international students coming from Sri Lanka to Salisbury University?
Well, coming through Nowaloka College, we already have an agreement prearranged between the institutions that the credits, the courses that you earned in the first 2 years in Colombo will transfer right over and apply towards your degree program here. So that greatly facilitates the process of making a transition into U.S. higher education. So it's a pretty seamless process.
All right, so is there any scholarships available for our students?
Yeah, so here in Maryland, we're a small state, and so we offer special scholarships for students who come from neighboring states, the states of Virginia and Delaware, for example. And we offer those same scholarships only to students coming through Nowaloka. So every student, sort of regardless of GPA, gets a $6,000 a year scholarship when they come through Nowaloka directly to Salisbury University.
So apart from studies, what are the other clubs and associated sports that students can experience here?
It's a very active campus, for one. We're a Division III sports university. So if you're interested in athletics, we're a very sporty and athletic campus, if that's your thing. We're very close to the beach. We're about 30 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean. So if that's something that you're into, especially if you're a surfer, we're actually one of the best surf spots on the Atlantic coast, right? Probably the closest university to the surf spot really on the Atlantic coast of the United States. So that's an advantage if you're into that. And then there's all kinds of clubs associated with disciplines and majors, things about journalism, for example, things about media production and digital music, filmmaking, all kinds of clubs and activities around those types of activities.
So what are the other entertainments surround Salisbury?
So again, the environment here is a small town environment. So we don't have big high rises, we don't have big clubs. There's not much of a city nightlife. That's not really what we're about here. There are some restaurants that students like to go to, nightlife like that, but there's a lot of activities on campus when it comes to movie nights and concerts and comedians and all kinds of entertainment that comes in here. Because we are so close to Washington, D.C. and New York, one of the things that is really very wealthy about this particular community is that large cultural acts that play New York and Washington, D.C., especially foreign acts, when they come on their visas, their cultural visas, they have to agree to do a certain amount of community and educational programming. So we will regularly get, whether it's a ballet or a philharmonic, acts that play in New York and they play in Washington and they stop and do one night here because they have to do an educational programming. So you might have to pay $200 to see this act in New York, but you'll get it for free here at the university because they have to do it as part of their outreach, and we're very conveniently located. So really a lot of cultural programming as well. because of our proximity to those larger markets.
So what kind of advice that you could give to our Nowaloka College students to transfer to Salisbury University?
I think the most important thing is that in American higher education, we have a very flexible idea about what degree programs and faculties and major areas of studies are. And so most Sri Lankan students, I think, right from the time they're maybe 18 years old, they get a very specific idea about what they want to study. And that can be helpful. But we also are much more flexible about that here. So if you can come and say you want to study business, but then you can actually study more human relations or public relations. Or you could say you maybe want to study computer science, but then you might end up studying more information systems. In other words, we allow that kind of flexibility. And all American universities do that. It's sort of part of the American enterprise. So I would encourage students not to be too anxious about that sort of decision-making process about their academic careers. Two other things I think I would really talk about right away is that when you come on a student visa to the United States, you're allowed to work on the university campus, but not out in the community. So at Salisbury University, we have a lot of jobs. Pretty much any international student that wants to work while they're here at the university, just a little job, 20 hours a week or 10 hours a week for some extra money, we have lots of those. And so that's a real advantage, I think, of our campus. That's not always the case at other universities. The other thing that students should think about, because Nowaloka students will really be coming in their third year of studies, so they really only have a couple of years here, is that when you come on a student visa, the US government allows all these students to have an additional year of work after you complete your program, that you could work anywhere in the United States on our student visa. So if you would like to work for a year in Los Angeles or in New York or a big market, you can do that for a year on our Salisbury University visa. So you really have to be thinking about that even from your third year, because as you're thinking about costs and investment and return on investment, you really want to be thinking also about this opportunity to stay for next year and make some money back in the US economy, and to start your career and really engage in your career with some experience in the United States.
Oh, well said. Thank you, Dr. Brian, for sharing the information with us. So log into Nowaloka College Higher Studies webpage and Facebook page. You can find out more about Nowaloka College of Higher Studies and the Salisbury University.